Good morning and welcome to Morning Java, which is brought to you by our friends right down the road at GetGo, walking distance.
It's the best part about it. You can just walk right over there.
Yep, and you can pick up your espresso coffee made with real espresso beans from a real Italian espresso machine. I just chugged one right outside this rink area here between sessions. We're here, of course, at Penguins Development Camp. He's Chris Bradford. I'm Dejan Kovacevic. The Penguins started off the day, let's talk with that, meaning day one of development camp, by letting Connor Sheary and Matt Hunwick loose. For lack of a better term, that's really what happened with that deal with Buffalo.
Yeah, they got some salary cap space. That's what Jim Rutherford was saying all along.
I got some calorie space.
Salary cap space. That's what Jim Rutherford was saying all along that he needed to do. And, of course, this was two pretty big contracts. You know, a $3 million for Sheary.
Yeah.
2.25 for Matt Hunwick. He gets those off the books. That puts the Penguins in a much better position going into the start of free agency.
Now, is there any loss at all with Sheary?
A little bit.
A little bit, right?
He's a guy who scored 18 goals last season. I mean, a lot of people, kind of wanted to, dump all over him for that. But 18 goals is still 18 goals. But the fact is that he wasn't consistent with those 18 goals, and he disappeared in the playoffs. And he is smaller, and they could get a little bit bigger at that position.
Now, within that, the Penguins are going to have to make other moves. It's become pretty clear that the Penguins are going to sign Jack Johnson on Sunday at the first available opportunity, meaning when free agency formally opens. We're reporting that it's going to be 5 years at $16.25 million based on a source. What do you think of those terms?
I would have been a lot happier with the shorter term. I thought a 3-year deal for Jack Johnson would sound about right. 5 years takes him to age 36. He's a player who's been a little bit in decline, especially last year. He was healthy scratch during the playoffs for the Blue Jackets.
Yeah.
So I'm not crazy about the length of the term, but the 3.25, whatever you said, that's perfect.
What is his decline, though, Chris? That's what I wonder about. I mean, is it a Tortorella-based decline? Let's, for those who don't know, I know there's a lot of people in Pittsburgh who don't like Tortorella, but for those who don't follow the Blue Jackets closely, he torments his guys.
Yep.
He beats them up. I don't mean that literally. For all I know. But he's really rough on even the guys who give their all, the heart and soul guys. He's always pushing them for more. Now, you can say, hey, that's great. It makes him a great coach, whatever. It works in the short term, but what about the long term?
Well, I think.
What about Johnson specifically?
Well, I think a guy like Johnson, I mean, he's obviously a guy who's had some issues with Columbus going back for a while now. I mean, he wanted out last season, didn't get traded because I think everyone knows about Jack Johnson's financial situation, really a messy situation with his parents. So he was believed to be looking for the biggest contract that he could get. This clearly isn't it, but he's getting some guaranteed term by getting 5 years. John Tortorella has, I think any coach has a shelf life like milk, His is just a little bit shorter.
Sour milk. Now, there's no way we're going to get to this third segment without bringing you this ridiculous scene behind us. We don't even know what it is, what those dummies are doing. There's an 8, and then there's a... Dude. The Penguins also, of course, have wrapped up Brian Rust for 3 years. And now some of that, actually all of this stuff started to make sense a little bit. The thing that struck me more than anything else on day one and talking to Jim Rutherford, as both of us did, is that he sounds like he's done up front.
Yeah, that's the one thing he was pretty adamant about. He asked about, because I figured left wing might be the one spot where he might want to get something, because it's basically Zach Aston-Reese and Dominic Simone already in the opening day lineup.
Yes.
And that was a little interesting to me. So I figured that if he was going to make a move, it might be there, but it sounds like he's going to stand pat.
Yeah, does it surprise you?
Well, Simone does a little bit. I mean, he did just get a one-way contract for I think it's paying like $700,000.
Yeah, but it's for 2 years, and he's going to be in the NHL, so he's going to play. That's the thing between him and Sprong and Aston-Reese. They're going to play. And to me, as long as you accept that part of it and say, all right, we're going to have these younger guys, we're going to go with some more energy, and hopefully they mature, particularly Sprong, who has the obvious scoring upside. I don't know. I'm with you. There's something on that left side that I'm just not,
Well, and again, he does have time. I mean, as he said, I think earlier in the week, that maybe at the trade deadline, if this is an issue, maybe then he can revisit and maybe try to do something, because the team that's going to start in 2018-19 is probably not going to be the one that finishes.
Right.
So if there is changes at the left wing, maybe it's coming in February.
Right. Now, the other thing that was noteworthy that came out of Rutherford's conversations on day one of development camp is that he's looking to not necessarily spend the money that he gets. And I don't say that in the Pirates context here. I'm saying that in the context that he wants to hold on to it, like you were saying, for the deadline. And that to me makes sense, because what's the GM's main job in the regular season is to guard against injuries.
Yeah, he has to give himself some flexibility. He's still going to be right up against the cap, especially if they get this Jack Johnson deal done. Either way, they're going to have a little bit of space, but just enough space in case of insurance. Yeah, $2-3 million at most. But that's enough insurance, I think, for what their purposes are going to be.